about a map we did this year with a grower in Queensland. In particular, this is around using plant growth regulators in barley. Here we can see on the DataFarming platform, you can draw your boundaries in and get the vegetation index up, the NDVI. And you can see here that there's poor areas in red and the blue areas are in good, so really good growing barley down the bottom here. But what we did in this particular case is use the PCD index, which is a little bit different, to bring out those differences even more. You can get that on a subscription, but if you don't have that, that's fine. You can just use the NDVI as their base layer. So what we've done here is you can see those different areas required different amounts of plant growth regulator, and if I actually look at the NDVI readings, gives you a bit of an idea. Some of that's 0.3, which is pretty poor crop, up to 0.9, so quite large variability there in those readings. So the grower said, well, we need to put a lot of plant growth regulator on these blue areas and pretty much nothing on the red areas. So what we did is we created a prescription map, and what you can see here is, I'll bring it up now, the prescription map that we created for this particular field. So we picked 4 zones for this particular field. And what we did is, if I go into the edit button, you can see that zone 1 and zone 2, so the red or the orange, or the deep orange and the yellow, didn't apply any product at all. So no plant growth regulator. And what we did in the green and the blue was just apply different water rates. So the chemicals obviously pre-mixed with the water. And what we did was made sure that putting on 90 litres still met the minimum label requirement, and 120 litres was sort of the maximum label requirement in terms of mils per hectare of the plant growth regulator. So that's important to note in your own jurisdiction, that you're still complying with label rates. But what we did here is just increase that rate of water and chemical for the really high biomass areas, a lower end rate for the moderate biomass areas, and the low biomass areas that didn't need any plant growth regulator, we had 0-0. So it's important you can actually create that map. And once you've done that, I was just editing in here, but you can change those rates after you've created your maps, by the way. But what we can do then is just go back into that and hit the 3 buttons and download that map again. But that's how simple it is to create a variable rate prescription map. But I thought it might be interesting just for you to see how we're using the satellite imagery to do plant growth regulator on barley. Thanks for watching. Any issues, send us an email or at support@datafarming.com.au.